1. Jackson's daughter insisted that her father had been murdered. Jackson's daughter, Paris, questioned Conrad Murray's competence when she asserted that her father had been murdered by the physician who was treating him when he passed away. 2.
The value of Michael Jackson's life is hard to estimate.
Michael Jackson's death makes it harder to determine his estimated net worth.
Throughout the course of his lifetime, he earned around $500 million while still living.
Most of the remaining $300 million came from his collection of songs by other artists, primarily the Beatles, with just about $100 million coming from his own music.
3. He was $500 million in debt when he died.
The singer was genuinely in debt when he passed away because, despite his fame, he had a horrible issue with excessive spending. According to experts, he was spending $30 million to $50 million annually on his lifestyle alone. And then he had his legal issues. Particularly with the kinds of accusations Michael Jackson was facing, attorneys are not inexpensive. It's simple to see how the artist got into trouble when you consider the $17 million cost of buying Neverland, the $65 million spent on a film production, and the $12 million divorce settlement. 4. He was virtually penniless when he died. Many believe that his net worth was close to $500 million at the time of his death in 2009. But that his debts were more than $500 million, leaving him to die penniless. He arrived here by habitually blowing through his income. The estate executors of Michael tried their utmost to increase Michael's net worth after his passing. They achieved this by producing the This Is It movie, which brought in $500 million, and by selling the rights to Michael's likeness and potential musical output. Michael Jackson's estate has amassed hundreds of millions of dollars as of the time this video was made. 5.
The estate is estimated to be worth over $2.4 billion.
Once all debts have been paid off and the rights to Jackson's songs have been repurchased. 6. Michael Jackson is now the richest person who has never lived, with an estate worth $2.4 billion. 7. His death closed the internet. At around 3:15 p.m. on June 25, 2009, numerous websites failed simultaneously throughout the internet. 8. He had a younger sibling. Although the Jacksons are well known, not many people are aware that Michael's brother Marlon had a twin brother named Brandon, who passed away just one day after his birth. 9.
He had a favorite takeaway food type.
Mexican food was Michael's preferred cuisine. 10.
Increasing library penalties.
Jackson allegedly piled up $1 million in library fines by borrowing books and failing to return them. 11. Michael Jackson's residence was sold for less money than it should have. Neverland Ranch was initially put up for sale in 2015 for $100 million, but that price was repeatedly reduced until a co-owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins acquired the property in 2019 for $22 million. The initial cost was $78 million more than that. Ouch. 12. His favorite Disney character was Pinocchio. Pinocchio is Michael's favorite animated character. 13. He married his nurse dermatologist, Lisa Marie Presley, an Elvis Presley daughter, and Michael were married. He had, however, also wed the nurse who worked at his dermatologist's clinic. 14. He was terrified of his father. We discovered that when Michael was a child singing in the Jackson 5, his father would strike him with a belt if he made mistakes. He made him terribly afraid. 15.
Michael loved llamas.
Louis and Lola, his beloved llamas, were adored by Jackson. He adored them so much that he frequently brought them to his Los Angeles recording studio.
The Jackson 5 appeared in a publicity photo for the debut of the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour.
By CBS Television, a photo. 16.
Low-cost costumes.
Jackson bought his costumes from thrift shops for the Thriller music video. 17.
Amazing 9/11 tale.
On September 11, Jackson was scheduled to attend a conference at the World Trade Center, but he didn't show up since he overslept and missed his flight. 18. He wanted to be Spider-Man. MJ has always dreamed of playing Spider-Man. Jackson even made an effort to purchase Marvel Comics when they declared bankruptcy in the hopes of casting himself as the character in a movie. 19. He made numerous world records by Guinness. A record-breaking 39 Guinness World Records have been set by Michael. He was also admitted into the Halls of Fame for dance and songwriters. With more than 800 accolades, he is now the most honored performer. 20. He left his father out of his will. As Michael passed away, it became clear that his estate was to be divided between his mother and his kids, leaving nothing for his father. 21. His boyhood home had only 2 bedrooms. In Gary, Indiana, Jackson grew up in a modest 2-bedroom home. He and 8 of his siblings lived together in this home, which most likely had just 1 toilet. 22. Jackson practiced karate. He possessed a black belt in karate before he passed away, which he received in Japan in the late 1990s. 23. 7 times, he sold out Wembley Stadium. He could have sold it 20 times in a row given the demand, but his schedule conflicted, forcing him to choose only 7 dates. 24. A moon crater is named after him. Poseidonus J was the old name of the crater, but we think it loves its new moniker far better. 25. He was offered the role of Peter Pan. You might be startled to learn that Jackson really declined the role of Peter Pan in the 1991 film Hook if you know anything about performers with Peter Pan syndrome, or the need to constantly be youthful. He merely believed that the director's vision did not align with his own. 26. The best-selling album of all time is one of his. Around 66 million copies of his album Thriller have been sold worldwide, making it the best-selling album of all time. Today, there are more than 100 million people who have it. 27. He has received a Nobel Peace Prize nomination. For his humanitarian efforts, Jackson was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize twice, in 1998 and 2003. 28. Michael Jackson was generous. Given that he donated more than $500 million to philanthropic causes, Jackson is regarded as the most charitable musician. He frequently donated quietly, therefore the actual sum might be substantially higher. 29. He has a massive following. Since he made his stage debut at the age of 5, his fan base is estimated to be 4.8 billion strong. 30. His funeral received the second highest viewing audience ever. His funeral received 2.4 billion viewers worldwide, or about half the world's population, making it the second most watched funeral ever. Princess Diana's funeral attracted more people than any other person's. 31. He had a pet monkey called Bubbles. He had the name Bubbles, and in 2003, he claimed that Bubbles shared his toilet and cleaned his bedroom. Later, it was reported that Jackson bought the bones of the Elephant Man. 32. Several other artists find inspiration in him. Michael Jackson is credited with inspiring numerous other musicians, including Beyoncé, Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, and many more. And really, who wouldn't be motivated by a man who has endured to this day as such a legend? 33. He wanted to live forever. In 1986, it was reported that Jackson slept in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber to slow his aging process. He was pictured lying down in a glass box. And voila! There you have it. 33 fantastic facts about Michael Jackson. We hope you will like, subscribe to our channel.